your girl is looking rough in a mug, okay? Later on, I get to go and do a... Let me turn this around. Get a better angle. Okay, so later on today, I am going to do a trunk or treat at Chick-fil-A for my job. And I'm going to have to paint my face. And y'all, I have no idea what I'm going to do to my face. Maybe because my head is so big, I'm just going to like paint a pumpkin onto my face. What y'all think? I don't know. I don't know what to do, but I only got a couple hours to figure it out. Plus, I got to go wash my truck. Let me tell y'all, just nonstop. My life is always nonstop, okay? Let me tell y'all something crazy that happened today. So, I bring Talia to school after her occupational therapy, and I'm looking down at my phone as I'm walking back out to my truck. And not even thinking about this because I'm looking at my phone, I walk up to a truck that looks exactly like mine. Okay, same color, everything. Same make, same model, same year. So I'm hitting the unlock button and I'm like, why isn't it unlocking? Like I didn't hear the unlock sound, but I looked up and I saw that the door was unlocked. So I was like, well, dang, I went into the school. I didn't even lock the door. I get in and I'm like, somebody's been messing with my console. And I'm still like looking, like it just still hasn't sank in yet. So I'm like looking around like something's different, but I can't quite figure it out. So anyway, I look up at the dashboard and there are some fake flowers sitting up there, which I know I didn't have. Something like, is somebody trying to prank me? Like who? I kid you not. Then it occurred to me, girl, you in the wrong truck. Oh my gosh, y'all, I was so ashamed. So ashamed. I got out of that truck so fast, then had to go back in the truck because I left my phone in there. I am not lying, y'all. Oh my gosh. That's so embarrassing. So embarrassing, I had to call Troy right away to tell him what I did. And then I was like, do I call into the school and tell them that I accidentally got in somebody else's truck? Like, I don't know what to do. I know I didn't take anything. That's not in my nature. You know, I don't believe in stealing from folks. So, yeah, I'm going to say, always lock your doors, okay? Good thing nobody was in the truck. You know, I didn't get shot. The person wasn't walking out to their truck at the same time I was walking out to my truck. But Lord have mercy. And I wanted to do a story time while I'm sitting in this line waiting on Taylor. I want to talk about how I moved out at the age of 17. Now, my teenage years were very, very fun for the most part, but also very rough, which I think is pretty typical for most teenagers. You know, like we're at that in-between stage where you want to be treated like an adult. You think you're an adult, but you're really not. And your parents still have, you know, rule over everything that you do because you can't sign any papers or anything like that. They still have to do everything for you. So, anyhow, me and my mom started to butt heads quite a bit. I'm going to put some lipstick on, y'all, because I just look so blah right now. A little bit better. Not perfect, but a little better. Anyhow, me and my mom started to butt heads a lot. You know, she was just, maybe she was under a lot of stress. I don't know, but I don't blame her. I feel like, you know, she did the best that she knew how to do. You know, parenting doesn't come with a handbook or anything like that. So, I won't say that she was a horrible mom. I don't know, there are definitely some things that she could have done differently, you know, which I'm sure she's aware of that. Well, anyhow, I've always been mature, I guess you could say, for my age. Even as far as like how to discipline me. I was always the type of child that if you started to lecture me, I would probably start crying, kind of sensitive. But also at the same time, I felt like I should be heard, even if what I had to say was wrong, I felt like I should be heard. And then, redirect me from there. But don't just like come at me and accusing me and telling me what to do and what not to do, and just because you said so. Like, I was the child, if you gave me an explanation, if you came from the heart, and even still to this day, if you come from the heart and you give me a genuine explanation, that works for me. I didn't necessarily need a whooping. I didn't always need to be grounded. But I do know, just being a teenager, being emotional, up and down, up and down, up and down, there's a lot of things that I was at fault as well. My mom had this rule where if I went out one weekend, I couldn't go out the next weekend. And I didn't understand why. Why she wanted me to stay at home. Thought she was jealous because she didn't have friends, but that wasn't the case. I understand now that when you're an adult and you have kids, you put your kids first. It's not that you don't have friends. You just put your kids first. And I understood why she was trying to keep me out of the streets. She was giving me a little bit. She didn't want me just in the streets all the time. I get that now that I'm an adult. But had she said something similar to that as a child, my attitude would have been a lot different towards it. You see what I'm saying? So it got to the point where I felt like every other day my mom was telling me if I didn't like her rules, that I could get out of her house. You don't like my rules, you can move out. You don't want to be here, you can move out. Well, of course, she knew I didn't have anywhere to go. You're telling me that I can move out, but at the same time, I have nowhere to go. So what am I supposed to do? And then with you telling me this every other day, I'm not saying that it made me feel like I needed to move out. But once I talked to some friends and found out that there was a friend of mine whose mom was willing to take me in, I said she has one more time to tell me that I need to get out her house. She told me one more time. And I'm going to tell you, the straw that broke the camel's back, I still don't understand this quite to this day, because my mom is what you call a baby boomer, where in their day, things weren't necessarily talked about. It was just do as I say, not as I do. That type of thing. Growing up, I didn't hear I love you a lot, but it was more of an action thing. Like, I was kind of spoiled, I guess you could say, like name brand clothes, and anything I asked for, just about I received. But I'm not a materialistic person. So at that time, I would have rather hear I love you from time to time, get a hug, from time to time, which I think is why I'm not really a hugger. But anyway, long story short, I was going out to the graduation for the class of 99. And she had already told me I could go, but I guess she forgot she told me I could go. And so I was putting on some lip liner. Back then we just used to wear lip liner and lip gloss. And she came to me and she said, "You didn't come and ask me how to put makeup on." And I'm like, I'm not even going to argue with her. Like, to me, this is like the dumbest argument on earth, because of all the things that you could talk to me about. You're upset because I didn't ask you how to put on lip liner. So I looked over at her out the corner of my eyes, and then I looked back into the mirror and just kept doing what I was doing. Well, of course, her being my mom, that was disrespectful. I was wrong for that, and I was out of line for that. And she got really mad at me. And she said, "And where are you going anyway? You didn't ask me if you could go anywhere. I didn't give you permission." I'm sorry, you guys. I'm going to have to pause for a second. Okay, I'm back. So we started arguing back and forth. I'm 17, like I said, at the time, and she told me, if you don't like my rules, then you can get out of my house. I said, okay. So I went to the graduation. After the graduation, I went back home and I started to pack my things. Well, now she's like really mad. You know, I didn't say you could go here. I didn't say you could. All that mattered to me at that time was that she told me I could go. She told me if I didn't like it, I could move out. And I was more than willing to do so. So anyway, I have things that I am proud of with myself, because I moved out at 17. I did not get pregnant. That was the summer before my senior year in high school. I completed high school. I actually graduated a semester early. I was in the cosmetology program in Votech. I was the only one in my class who passed my state board exam. And I passed cosmetology with a 4.0. I was somewhat at the top of my class. I was not like valedictorian or any of that, but I did really well, and I still graduated. So I'm proud of myself for that. Yay! Pat on the back. You know, my mom has grown a lot, and so have I. And I'm not telling anybody, telling the story to bring her down or anything like that, because like I say, she did the best that she knew how. I don't know, what was going on with her at that point in time in her life, but I think she was really stressed out. So anyhow, I graduated. And the day of my graduation, my mother walked up to me and said, I didn't buy you anything. Y'all, as much as it hurt my feelings, I didn't say anything back. I didn't argue back. I just said, that doesn't matter to me. It didn't hurt my feelings that she didn't buy me anything. It hurt my feelings. Y'all, my camera is flashing like. It did not hurt my feelings that she didn't buy me anything. What hurt my feelings was that she did not say congratulations. At that moment, I felt like she was not proud of me for what I had achieved. So I, just went on ahead with my life, did what I needed to do, started working, and have been working ever since. Like I say, as the time has gone on, our relationship has gotten better. I think she now acknowledges that I'm a pretty good kid, grown woman now, but it wasn't as bad as it seemed at the time. I just think that, the pressures of life maybe got to her, and, whatever the case may be. But y'all, this lady had me pull up because my daughter's class wasn't out yet, and now her teacher is putting kids in all the cars behind me, but no one is putting her in my car. So hang on a minute. Okay, you guys, so Noonie is in the car. You got a little bit of what?
I got a little bit of marker on me.
Oh, that's okay. I'm sure it'll wash out. How was school today? Good. Good. So yes, like I say, she did the best that she knew how. And mommy, I want to say I love you, and I wouldn't change my mother or who's my mother for anything in the world, because your struggle as a mother made me who I am. I am 100% grateful and appreciative of you. It also helped that my dad, who is my stepdad, because I know you guys hear me say like my dad, and what I mean is my stepdad. He's been around since I was 6, okay? He's my daddy. He raised me, but he played a major role in my upbringing. He actually created the balance between, me and my mom. Like she was the really strict one, and he was a lot easygoing. I think he may have understood me a little more than she did, but they had split. They were on a break, and things between me and my mom just got pretty ugly. So yeah, well, that is my story time for today. I am going to say I do not recommend moving out at an early age, and the reason why I do not recommend this is because the
I feel like I'm skating right now.
y'all kids will interrupt you and say some of the most random stuff. Okay, baby, you must be tired, maybe. Anyhow, as I was saying, I don't recommend it because although it was okay when I first moved out of the home, it's boring now. Those bills don't go away. They just keep coming, keep coming, keep coming, keep coming. The same bills I was paying when I moved out then are the same bills I'm paying now. They just got a little more expensive. I love y'all. Have a blessed and wonderful day. Well, the trunk or treat at Chick-fil-A was a success. It was crazy busy. I am tired.